For me, this last year before retirement, it's full of hope, big plans, and a little anxiety. Can you relate? I thought about this topic, about this last year before retirement and what the feeling is like. It reminded me a little bit of a time when I was a young boy in the Christmas season. I had asked for a Huffy bicycle for Christmas. Some of you a little bit older of my vintage might remember those. I wanted that thing so bad, and like a lot of us, I got to nosing around in places I shouldn't have been in the Christmas season. Yes, I ended up in the attic. There it was, that glorious Huffy bicycle that I wanted so bad. Man, I was so excited I was going to get the bike that I wanted. The gift I had hoped for was on the way. But when I left the attic, there was another emotion that crept in, some disappointment, a little bit of a letdown. And it wasn't because of the bicycle or the Christmas season itself. It was more of, I kind of ruined the surprise a little bit. I had taken some of the shine off what Christmas morning was going to be like for me. That reminds me a lot about this time leading up to retirement and the anticipation, some of the feelings that you have as you approach retirement. By the way, if you enjoy this content, if you like these stories and how they relate, some of these reflections, they mean something to you, I'd appreciate it if you'd like this video. And that makes it easier for others who could benefit maybe or share in our journey. They can find this video easier if they get some likes. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this. I would appreciate it a lot if you'd do that. So, as I got to thinking about what it's like, there's a lot of parallels, as I mentioned, between this final year before retirement and the Christmas season as a kid. For me, as I look forward to retirement, some of the anticipation part is for all the freedom that I'm going to have and the trips that I want to take. In fact, I'm already starting a slow travel, huge trip out west that I want to take, planning for that. Maybe some projects that I want to do, some things I want to accomplish personally, things about exercise and health. So there's all that you look forward to with great anticipation. And along the way, we get little glimpses into what it may be like to retire one day. Got an upcoming trip here soon where we'll be away like everyone else hopefully gets those vacation times, and it's like a preview, sort of a little glimpse into the future of what retirement will be like. And this time, as I'm preparing for that trip, I'm imagining to myself, what if this wasn't time bound? What if I didn't have to come back in a week? What that would be like. So we get a little peek into the future too. But just like all those excitements were similar to the discovery of that Huffy bicycle, there's a little bit of anxiety. It's a little bit different. It's not the disappointment of the surprise being taken away necessarily, but it's more of a feeling of, I'm not 100% sure. And there's really no way to be 100% sure. There's a little bit of fear involved, a little bit of uncertainty and anxiety. Of course, there are the financial aspects of things that you think about. Have I planned sufficiently? I believe we have. But you always wonder. You wonder what health might be like. Even retiring early, you start to realize as people around you experience things, as you lose loved ones, maybe celebrities pass that are near your age. I remember when Prince died. That was a big deal to me. I don't know why really, but it was huge. And things happen that make you begin to have concerns that maybe you won't be able to enjoy retirement as much as you thought. Then there's the emotional and kind of the psychological part of it, where you know that your world's going to change significantly. Life is going to change. Your role will be different. You won't be part of, the workforce anymore. And if you're a professional, especially if you're a professional or you're a tradesman, someone that's had a very specific role, a lot of times your identity gets caught up in your work. It's who you are. And if it's not that, it's your friend group. It's the people you spend time with every day. It's the reason you get up in the morning, regardless of what kind of profession it is or how many friends you may or may not have. So a lot changes when you transition from the working world to the retired world. And I haven't experienced that yet, but certainly I've thought about it and know that it's out there. So In a lot of ways, this last year, it's a lot like what it'll be like or what it was like as a kid growing up and anticipating Christmas with a lot of anticipation, a lot of joy and hope, but at the same time, some concerns. And what if I hadn't have found that Huffy bicycle? I would have been wondering, leading up to that, hey, am I going to get it? Is that going to be there Christmas morning? So lots of parallels between that story I shared in this last year before retirement. So I kind of reflect on all that. It makes me realize that oftentimes the anticipation and the imagination of what something will be is not always exactly like reality. Things are different when you really go through them. It's one thing to watch others have experiences and go through things. Something else entirely when it's you. So what would I give you for some advice? So maybe I'll offer a few pieces of advice here as someone that's in this phase. First of all, I would say, man, embrace this last year a lot. Wrap your arms around it and enjoy it. Enjoy the looking forward and the planning and all the thinking that you do around the preparation for retirement. Enjoy that final year of your career and work. Discovering some things about that as I am into my last year, and it's starting to become more known that's kind of it for me. I keep telling people this is my last trip around the sun with them as a coworker, and so that's becoming known, and I'm embracing all of that. I'm not trying to hide from it or avoid it. I'm fully engaging with the reality of what it's like to be someone late in career. I think that's valuable. I would also say savor the small wins. Maybe it's an account balance that you want to see reach a certain point, or a work milestone, an anniversary, or it's a debt you wanted to pay off before retirement. Maybe it's nothing financial at all. Maybe it's just, you've been working on some planning for the future. You're able to solidify some of those plans. It's your birthday. This channel is double nickel. And so for my birthday and embracing and savoring that moment, I started this channel double nickel. And I'm really enjoying that. I hope you are. And I'm so encouraged by those of you who have watched and are watching. It means a lot to me. I've received quite a bit of good feedback. Some of it public in the comments, and a lot of it private. I appreciate that. I'm glad to see that some of my thoughts are of some kind of value to those of you who run into this content. I'd also say prepare for some surprises. You're going to have some feelings and experience some emotions that maybe you didn't predict. You're going to realize that all those years you spent ready for this, that's great, and you anticipated it, but then you get here and it's a little different. There's kind of a bittersweetness to it. Maybe you didn't reach every work goal you wanted to or whatever, and you realize that maybe you're not going to reach some of those goals. So there's some surprise feelings that you have. There's some fears that I used to have difficulty understanding with people who were nearing retirement and things they were concerned with. I didn't really understand that as much, but now that it's me and it's personal, I'm beginning to understand a lot more. So those three pieces of advice would be to embrace this season fully. I mean, make this your long Christmas Eve into your retirement maybe. Savor those wins as you run into them. Enjoy those milestones that you reach, whatever they are. Got little countdowns for a lot of things, like the day I will officially file my retirement papers. So, I'm going to celebrate each one of these little milestones along the way. Just make that part of the fun of the experience. And I'm realizing that there are these surprises that come up, and I'm okay with that. It's okay that things are going to come along that we didn't anticipate, and it may surprise us a little bit. Maybe you're in your last chapter of retirement. Maybe you're like me and you're nearing the finish line. I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to know what it's like for you. This what I've shared resonates with you, if it's similar for you, I'd like to hear that. If it's something different, share with myself and the others who maybe watch this video. Double nickel might see it in the comments. Maybe you're farther away. You're in that phase that I talked about where you're really looking forward to where old Brad is right now. Share that as well. I started this journey, this channel. It's a legacy project. And I didn't know how much it was going to be worth to me. I'll wrap it up with this. I didn't know that capturing some of these moments would begin to create so much value for myself. I think a little bit for others, but so much for myself. And now as I know that it's going to be there for posterity's sake, I look forward to that day when maybe those grandkids, I can fire up one of these videos for them and say, look at the old man. That's what it was like for him as he prepared. Well, I've said enough for today. I'm looking forward with great anticipation to my retirement. I hope you are as well. And I'm living life along the way. I'm not wishing it away, trying to make the very most of it. You do the same. And until next time, let's see where Double Nickel ends up taking us.